Were Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan the two biggest global icons in the last few decades?
Oh my. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. A Kobe Bryant patch autograph. Number 4 of 10.
How's it going, everybody? And welcome back to my channel, Kobe Cards. Today, we are talking about episodes 5 and 6 of The Last Dance, which aired this past Sunday. I'm going to mainly just continue where I left off, as in my last video, I really only talked about the Kobe tribute part of episode 5, which was really only the first 6 minutes. But the episode overall was loaded with really cool information to talk about, including the history behind Jordan's shoe deal and the inception of Air Jordans, the Olympics being a global icon, and the whole Be Like Mike phenomenon. I'm not gonna lie, episode 6 wasn't really as relatable. They talked a lot about Jordan's gambling addiction, debt he owed, getting special treatment from the league to not interfere because basically he was so wealthy that he could afford all the money he was losing, and honestly a lot of other things that I really don't want to talk about because they didn't leave the best taste in my mouth, and like I said, weren't that relatable, especially when we talk about Kobe Bryant. One of the things, for instance, was like saying if he could do it all over again, he wouldn't want to be a role model. And I just thought that was an awful way to reflect on yourself and your own impact on the world. And yeah, I don't think it's relatable for Kobe. Not just, the gambling part, but definitely I think Kobe would be the last person to say that he would trade his lifestyle in order to be less of a role model. Given what Kobe did after retirement, it's clear that all he wanted to do was inspire the world every single day. He wanted to get more people into sports, more children into sports, more women into sports, and really just creating work to inspire people in their lives every day. So again, it's just not relatable to a lot of the stuff that Jordan said. So it really only left me with today's topics, which are 1, shoes, 2, the Olympics, and 3, being a global icon. So first off, shoes. So Jordan's agent, David Falk, is really to thank for Air Jordans being a thing. They mentioned at the time that Jordan originally wanted to sign with Adidas too, despite the fact that Converse had previously had all of the big names like Larry, Magic, Dr. J. And the irony is, Jordan ended up going with Nike, but it was Kobe who in 1996, in his rookie deal, signed with Adidas, and that deal ended up being a massive failure. So Kobe had to buy himself out of that contract. He paid $8 million to Adidas, and then a little over a year later signed with Nike, which was probably the much better business move, which he probably should have made originally. I guess what I'm saying is it's probably a good thing that Jordan didn't waste his time with Adidas because it probably would have been a mistake. And Adidas didn't really know how to market top players correctly. It was a disaster for Kobe, and Adidas actually tried blaming Kobe. They said he wasn't popular enough of a player, and that's why his shoes didn't sell. And quite honestly, the shoes stunk, and their marketing stunk, and Adidas just in general as a partner, they just stunk. Going on to Jordan's deal though, Jordan's rookie deal, which he signed with Nike, was for $250,000, so $250,000. And in his very first year, his Air Jordans sold $126 million. Yeah, so something tells me that Jordan did cut himself a little bit short in his deal, but it's possible that not even he knew just how much sales would come out of his sneakers in 1 year. Back to the story with David Falk though. They mentioned that he was trying to turn Jordan into a tennis player, and in all seriousness, it's genius. You need to figure out what you can realistically sell about yourself. Think about it. What can someone realistically say and sell and say, this will make you a better player? You can't say something stupid like, oh, it's my haircut which makes me so good, or it's my socks, or my earring. Like the only thing Jordan had, which he could sell, and was an asset of his that he showed every day and on the court, was his shoes. Tennis players can sell their rackets, baseball players can sell a special glove or a bat with, their engraved name on it or whatever it may be. But for basketball, you can't really do much because there isn't much equipment that you have other than really your shoes. You can't sell the ball because everyone on the court is using the same ball. And jerseys are endorsed separately, and once again, they're all made by the same company. So really, you're just left with the shoes. The only other thing which I was able to realistically think of in terms of something that would help performance is your fuel. So what you eat and what you drink. And since Jordan was already making McDonald's commercials, and no one in their right mind thought that Jordan went home and ate a Big Mac after every night to prepare for his next game, he kind of screwed the pooch on that one. However, this is where Kobe comes in. He was brilliant and took part ownership of a company called Body Armor. You could see him on the sidelines while all of his teammates were drinking water or Gatorade. He was sitting there with his own bottle of Body Armor that he'd drink whenever he was on the sidelines, either during timeouts or if he wasn't in the game. With that, people didn't have to wonder whether or not that was his fuel. You saw him drinking it. So it gives it validity. If MJ was sitting on the bench during timeouts or after a game and just went up to the podium for post-game interviews holding a Big Mac and just started eating it, as disturbing as that sounds, suddenly you see him actually putting it in his mouth and in his body, and you can associate it with a product that he uses as part of his routine or attribute it to part of his success. But obviously, other than the commercials, he never really did that. You didn't see him eating McDonald's, and therefore you didn't actually believe that that's what he was eating. Let's just be honest. No offense, Mickey D's, but Kobe took the blueprint set by David Falk and Michael Jordan and not only applied it to his own shoes, but also a sports drink deal. And that's just truly genius. And needless to say, Jordan and Kobe are the two most successful sports icons for the Nike brand too. Nike, with those two, have pretty much taken away any share Converse ever had, or Adidas ever wished they'd have. Up next is the Olympics. So 1992 was the first time a team of NBA players played in the Olympics, and they were known as the Dream Team. They added that Jordan and a lot of other players were probably the reason that Isaiah Thomas was left off of the team. And if you think that that was something that just happened in 1992 and isn't really relatable to today's game, think again. LeBron James himself was nearly cut from Team USA because of his immaturity and rude attitude. Again, this was 2008. From Coach K to managing director Jerry Colangelo to NBA vets on the team, the issue of James' immaturity and downright disrespectfulness had become a consuming topic on their way to the Olympics. And there was a serious risk that James was not going to go to Beijing despite his ridiculously talented game because people didn't want to have to deal with him. Team USA had to assign Jason Kidd to babysit him at the Tournament of Americas in 2007 to try to teach him professionalism. And it was players like Kobe, who was team captain of Team USA, who had to step in and lead the way not just on the court, but off the court as an example too. They then talked about how being on Team USA really brought basketball and Jordan's brand to new heights worldwide, making him a global icon. They were able to sell the Be Like Mike worldwide. And that's what's going to get me to my final topic, which is being a global icon. As they said in the episode, the Dream Team is, according to them at least, responsible for the profile of the NBA and basketball just going forward internationally. And thus, because of how they said it was MJ who somewhat brought the idea of NBA players playing in the Olympics, that it's what made him a global superstar. And it certainly helped McDonald's, for instance, as they could start selling Americana and continuing to promote basketball internationally through that and the other endorsements, like, with Nike as well, selling their shoes internationally. It certainly helped that Jordan was playing on a global stage. When they said that Michael Jordan was the most popular figure in the entire world, I probably don't disagree. It's really hard to have one single figure that can represent an entire population of humanity. But artists as well as Musical artists and athletes are people who have the ability to inspire anyone and have the just reach to be able to get that quote unquote most popular icon to their name. Now, everyone always uses the term passing the torch, and there is no more fitting comparison when it comes to world icons than Jordan passing the spotlight to Kobe. He literally passed the torch to Kobe in so many ways, it's ridiculous. And world popularity is another way. And the numbers showed that for many years, Kobe had the top selling jersey internationally and in the NBA. After Jordan, the next person with the most jerseys sold in the world is Kobe Bryant. The best part for Kobe is that he actually had an edge on Jordan when he came into the league. Kobe was so much more internationally relevant than most other players because he grew up in Italy. His father played internationally. He went out of his way to learn who knows how many languages just to get an edge up on opponents. I mean, he was that crazy. He would trash talk Tony Parker in French, Yusuf Nurkic in Bosnian, Yao Ming in Chinese. On the sidelines, he was seen last year heckling Luka Doncic in Slovene. He did an interview in Portuguese. He would talk to Pau Gasol on the court in Spanish so others wouldn't know what they were scheming. And he was just able to hold press conferences internationally using those countries' native languages. Not just breaking down communication barriers, but making him one of the most respected people in the world internationally. Anytime you can visit another country and interact with people in their native language, not only do you obviously set a standard and raise some eyebrows along the way, but most importantly, you're respecting their culture and connecting with them on such a deeper level. Suddenly, all these people in Bosnia and all these other countries, they can connect with Kobe Bryant. And if you ask me my very honest opinion, when Kobe passed, it, for me at least, felt like watching the most popular and biggest global icon in the entire world pass. Seeing how countries all around the world reacted to the news, it's rare that one person can touch the lives of people across every country, race, gender, religion, age, you name it. It didn't matter who you were. There was a big chance that Kobe either inspired you, or at the very least, you respected him. And with that, we end our recap of episodes 5 and 6 of The Last Dance. If you enjoyed this video and want to support my ongoing tribute to Kobe, I hope you consider subscribing so that you can follow along as we continue our journey to remember and celebrate the life and career of Kobe Bryant. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.